you have found why we are Christians. My name is Kent Philpott. Next to me is
Katie Philpott.
we're married, and we have a guest who's sitting right over here, and that's Jerry Lee Shelfer. Welcome, Jerry. Glad you're here.
It's good to be here, Kent.
Yeah, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And your wife, Michelle, had been on the program, interviewed by
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Katie.
I loved that show.
That's her favorite show. And so now we have the chance to do this. We've not ever interviewed somebody together before, Jerry, so this will be an experiment.
Good.
Well, now we want to know about you.
Okay.
So now, Jerry Lee Lewis, of course, great balls of fire, the piano player. Now you're not named after him. You're
No.
no.
But we're from the same part of the country, so there's
You're
a lot
a
of Jerry
Southern
Lees.
boy, huh?
Jerry Lee, where'd you get the Lee?
Well, my father was a Lee,
Your father?
Howard Lee, and probably it goes back many generations. I think Robert E. Lee is the touchstone for that.
Okay, that's where that comes from. So, and now I know that you were born in Wichita, Kansas.
Yes.
That's
Wow.
not Alabama or
No.
Louisiana.
We always thought you were an Alabama boy.
Well,
How they got together, how they found each other?
my mother and father.
Yeah.
The story I heard was that she was going to L.A. She was living, I think, in Bakersfield or somewhere.
Okay.
And she had a very large foot, much like mine.
Yeah, what are you, what, size 18?
No, mine's about 14, but hers I think were 11, and she couldn't find
Oh,
shoes,
my.
so she went to L.A. to find shoes, and my father was on leave, I think, from the military, and
What branch?
I think at that time it was probably Air Force. Yeah,
Okay.
Hey,
it was after
just
World
like,
War II.
Just like Kent.
After World War II. Okay.
Right, he was in the Air Force and on leave, I guess, and they ran into each other, and the rest is history.
They ran into each other at a shoe store?
I don't know, somewhere. Who knows?
All
That's
right.
a story I heard.
So they got married,
Yeah.
and along came you. You'd have brothers and sisters, the oldest, youngest, middle, what?
I am the middle. I have two sisters that are older, and I mean a brother and sister older, and two sisters younger.
Now, I have down here, it says education history, and it says HS. Does that mean homeschooled?
No, high school.
So that was the extent of the formal education.
Yes,
Yeah, but
and
you,
barely that.
But I mean, you've taught yourself a whole range of things. I mean, we'll get into all the various things that you've learned how to do excellently in your life.
Well, okay.
Well, okay. Well, building, music, computers, all kinds of things that you've taught yourself how to do.
What high school did you graduate from, Jerry?
Ozark, Alabama.
Ozark, Alabama.
Right.
Okay.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Okay. Religious background. What did your mom and dad go to church?
My dad was a lay preacher.
A lay preacher.
Right. In the Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
So I grew up in church.
Now I got to ask you, snake handling?
Not snake handling,
Not quite,
but
huh?
backflipping and
Backflipping.
falling out,
Falling out.
and the whole
Yeah.
rock and roll
Yeah.
gospel
Music was a big thing.
world. Music was happening.
Holiness and fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
It was an experience. So I went to church at least 3 times a week.
At least.
At least.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I grew up in church.
Did that become like a thread that held a consistency for you along with your family because you were moving all the time?
Right. Yes.
So was it easy to find another church every place you guys moved to?
Oh, yes.
So there was always
was-
something.
One of the things that I've learned since my growing up was that Christianity was spread after World War II throughout the world by the military
Oh,
in a big way.
Yeah, yeah,
That
sure.
South Korea is very Christian today, much because of the
yeah.
GIs that were there during the Korean War.
Biggest Baptist church in the world.
That's right. And so I was participating as a child in these church meetings and such, and the efforts of my father, and there was evangelism going on that swept the world after World War II. And so wherever he was stationed overseas, like we were in Japan for 3 years, and wherever we were, there was a Pentecostal church there. In fact, the military has a high proponent of Southerners, Scotch in particular, and a warrior class, and they were also the holiness bent, and so that type of Christianity was spread throughout the world, mainly through this warrior class of people that inhabited the military.
Never heard it like that.
So that means that you're exposed to a lot of high energy Christianity.
Right.
High energy. Did you have much of a sense about yourself you identified yourself as a Christian? Did you understand much about Christianity at that point, Jerry?
Well, one of the things that as a child was learning the Bible, learning Bible verses. It's almost a competitive kind of a thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To be able to have Sunday school and learn the Bible. My relationship with Jesus started very early. I had a personal relationship at 7 years old. I actually was, it was a comfort for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 12 years old and professed faith and was baptized, it wasn't, I had a running start.
So where were you baptized? Where were you at in the world at that?
A little place called Sneads, Florida, which is near Chattahoochee, if anyone knows that. The insane asylum's there also.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that goes together.
That's right.
But was it in a baptismal? Was it in a lake?
Baptismal.
A baptismal
Yeah.
in a building.
In a building, full immersion.
Full immersion.
No,
Okay.
Sure.
we get fully wet.
Yeah, we Baptists say that's the only way to go.
That's right.
So you say you had been like really in faith for 5 years at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
To the how do kids see it? That wasn't my experience. That wasn't Michelle's experience. Your wife, my really good friend. We came to faith as adults. What is it like? Explain to somebody who might be listening. Well, how does a little kid know that he's really a believer of anything?
Well, one thing you have to understand is that I was immersed in the Bible, and understanding of Jesus came from the Word. And I experienced Him in my soul, and my relationship with Him was conversely. You know, I spoke to Him, I prayed to Him. When I was taught to pray, and my understanding as a child, strangely, is not much different than it is today. I have a relationship with Him, and I converse with Him. Not that I hear Him audibly, but it's a soulful thing, and it's a comfort.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you, when you were going to school, did you encounter any opposition in your Christianity? Did you ever get any trouble for being a Christian with other kids in school?
Well, the world I inhabited, from the military, which during that time was very supportive, Christianity was imbued in the military at that time, and in the South, I think I've mentioned times where that even in situations that are in the public, grocery stores or whatever, people will break down and have church right there in the public. So the
Part and
world
parcel of the whole
the
society.
world that I lived in and grew up in, speaking of Jesus in the public was nothing. It was done like
Ordinary.
breathing.
Yeah.
Did you have much of a sense of other religious views, or let's say other world views? Did you have much of a sense of that,
Well,
Jerry?
When I was in Japan, I saw Shinto and Buddhism, and in school, I learned about different religions. Are you talking about as a child?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I was aware.
You were aware.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a big reader, so I read about a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so you're growing up, became a believer in 12. You're going to high school. Oh, I have to ask, did you play any sports in high school?
I ran track.
You ran track. Okay.
I would think everyone would ask you if you played basketball, because you're what,
No,
6 foot, what?
No, yes. I'm
6'3", 4"?
6'4".
6'4", yeah.
And a little more. Anyway.
And a little more.
So I ran track and high jump in particular.
You high jumped at your height. Man, that's something. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you do scissors? You did scissors.
I did scissor at that
I
time.
did scissors. You know the
Yeah.
rollover,
Yeah.
No, we didn't do the
We didn't
Fosby
do
flop
that.
or anything like that.
No.
Scissor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
On your back.
Right. Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I
What can
remember
I
that.
know about?
So what year did you graduate from high school?
1970.
1970. 1970.
Yeah. Joined the Marine Corps.
Now you all can figure out how old you are.
Okay. And that high school was where?
Ozark, Alabama.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's right. I asked that twice.
Let me
I'm going to
back
have
up
to
just-
edit that out, Jerry.
That's okay. Let me back up just a moment.
Okay.
My dad, being in the military and having moved every year or so, when he retired, he never lost the wanderlust, such that a year later, we were in the Bahamas. He took a job in the Bahamas.
Wow.
So I went from there, and we didn't actually, I think he retired in 63, and we didn't actually settle down probably till about 66. So there's 3 years of post-military. He
Wow.
couldn't,
He just had to
he had
see
to
more.
move somewhere else. So
Now, you said he was a lay preacher, so how did that fit in with wandering around also?
he'd start a church or
Yeah?
be part of a church wherever he went.
Yeah.
But finally, we settled in Ozark, Alabama. So you can imagine I went from traveling all over the world to going into a remote southern
Yeah.
backwater town in Ozark, Alabama,
So you got there, and
which was a wonderful time.
is it? Yeah. Well, to bring us up past age 12 and past, let's say, your high school years.
Okay.
Kind of fill us in on what's going on with Jerry then.
Well, I was ROTC. I was in the band,
Oh.
and
Now what
I played
instrument?
tuba.
You played the tuba.
I played the tuba.
Wow.
So
I
they
only
gave the
know you
big
as
guy
a-
the big horn.
That's right. Well, before moving there, I was in Miami.
Yeah.
So went to the Bahamas to Miami.
Yeah.
In Miami, I took up the euphonium, which is a. Well, before
Yeah,
that,
really.
I
What
should
is
go
it?
back up. Before that, I would play the trombone.
Okay.
So, and when I was about, I guess, 8 or 9, a missionary came through Japan, stayed at our place. We had a lot of missionaries coming and going
Yeah.
throughout my life, and taught me a few chords on the guitar. and a little trombone. So I played the trombone for a while, and usually in high school you were loaned instruments if you didn't buy them, and so from trombone I went to another school and I played the euphonium, which is like a baritone instrument. And then from there, when I went to Ozark, I was in a band and they needed a tuba player. So I played, actually it wasn't a tuba, it was a sousaphone,
Oh,
which
okay,
is,
right, yeah, yeah.
it's
Little bit
shaped a little different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a marching band. And march I did with my sousaphone.
I know you're.
I want to hear about how you got really so good at the guitar.
Well, when I joined the Marine Corps,
How old were you when you joined the Marine Corps?
I was 17. And
Did you lie about your age, or your parents glad to get rid of you?
No, I signed a waiver so that once I turned 18, which was a few months later, then I was already ready to go.
Okay.
So off to boot camp I went.
Where was boot camp?
And Paris Island.
Paris Island. Okay, so what was your job in the Marine Corps? Infantry or?
No, I went to school for electronics, avionics, but I didn't actually work that. They sent me to security guard. I was at the embassy in Paris and the Salt Talks in Geneva and Calcutta, India.
Wow.
So I saw duty in exotic places.
Where was this in relationship to the height of the Vietnam War?
It was 70, so it was hot.
Yeah, yeah.
I was expecting to go, but I didn't.
So you didn't go to Nam at all?
No.
Okay.
To fight the Kong, no.
Okay. How long were you in the Marine Corps? 2-3 years?
5.
5? You
Yeah,
were 5 years.
they
So you
extended-
re-upped at some point.
No, they extended me. They extended me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got extended. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I understand. Okay. Tried to do that to me, but I wasn't going to go for it. Anyway, so here you are. What's your Christianity like in the military?
Well,
Were you still following Jesus then?
yes, but of course, having grown up in church and having a strict sort of lifestyle, I was like a spring that got
Sprung.
sprung. So as soon as I could, I experienced everything I possibly could.
Oh, the
and
world,
some.
and the flesh, and
Then
somebody
some.
else. Yeah.
Then some.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
So now, so what happened to your Christianity, Jerry?
Well, I had him in my back pocket.
The insurance policy.
Yeah. But I knew that I was doing wrong. So, and I lived a life of conflict.
Painful.
Painful, yes.
Yes, this is
Yeah,
a painful
I knew
place
I
to
was
be.
doing wrong, and I did it anyway.
Okay, were you going to church then?
Occasionally, yes.
Which made it worse?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which made it worse if you could just go off and be a sinner, but you were going to church too.
That's right.
Yeah, not pleasant.
No.
I think we've all done that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the. I would say it's a human experience if you're trying to live for Christ and you've got the siren call of the world and you
And you're
don't
young.
lash yourself to the mast.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now during the years in the Marine Corps, you're moving around a little bit.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Quite a bit. Okay. And so bring us up. What happens when you get out of the Marine Corps? What's next on the agenda?
So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I fancied myself as a musician, and so I
Does that mean you didn't believe it? You just fancied it, or because you are a musician?
Okay, well, at that time I fancied myself as a musician, and so being young and crazy, I would stick my thumb out and go coast to coast anywhere I wanted to with my guitar and backpack, and did. And I did that for several years, just traveling around.
So this is mid-20s now?
This is, yeah, early 20s, mid-20s, yeah.
Okay.
And I did that for a while. I remember one time I was in Montana, in a remote town. I just played a honky-tonk, and I was sitting in a park playing my guitar, and a woman walked up to me and she looked me in straight in the eye. She said, "Your mother is praying for you."
You're in Montana in a park
In a park,
playing your guitar,
playing my guitar.
and you're just on the road by yourself,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're making money going from honky tonk to honky tonk.
that's right. Yeah, just
Playing a few songs, getting a few tips.
That's right. Playing for tips, sitting on a bar stool, playing my guitar.
Wow.
So
and I did
what-
it for years.
When that woman came up to you and said, "Your mother is praying for you," how did you react?
It shocked me to my core.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, a woman came up to say this.
Just walked up to me. I
You're
was
sitting
playing
in the
guitar.
park.
Is
in
that
the
all
park.
is that all she said?
Yes.
And then she left.
And she left.
What was that, an angel?
I don't know. But
This was somebody.
and
I have a word for you from God. is
yeah,
what
no,
that
she didn't
was.
preface it by
No,
that.
No,
but
none
she
of that.
did,
No.
but she did. Yeah.
Yeah, she just walked up and said, "Your mother's praying for you." And I'm
That was
sure
probably
she was.
true.
I'm
Yeah,
sure she
I'm
was.
sure she was.
I'm sure she was.
Long lost Jerry Lee.
Yeah, and so I did that for a while, and at some point, still fancying myself as a musician, I moved to Nashville.
Nashville. Okay, now before we get to Nashville,
Okay.
which really sort of helps this question. I thought, what kind of music were you playing? Were you playing Western, country?
Both
Western?
kinds.
Both kinds, country and Western.
Yeah.
So no.
Folk music, American folk music.
Okay.
Blues, country.
Who were some of the guys songs you were playing?
Oh, Hank Williams, that kind of thing.
Hank Williams.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And blues.
And blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you were singing and playing, of course.
Singing and playing.
Did you write any of your own songs?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
I thought I was a songwriter. Yeah.
Yeah. You sing any of those songs still today?
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
So when I got to Nashville, I got a contract as a songwriter
Really?
with Famous Music. It's
Okay.
a Paramount company. Anyway,
All right.
I was a staff.
Now, go ahead. Say those same words again. I didn't quite get them. What company?
It's called Famous Music.
Famous Music.
Right. It's a Paramount company. Anyway,
Okay.
so I was a staff writer there for a while, and they paid me just enough money to starve to death. And I did that.
How many staff writers were there at that point?
At this company?
Yeah.
I think there were 2 or 3.
Oh,
It was a small company.
okay.
Did you write any songs for any well-known people?
I tried to. You mean that recorded them?
That actually recorded
there people recorded some of the music, but there was no hits. Let's put it that way.
Okay, no hits.
No hits. So I did that for a year, and then continued with my travels. And it was in one of the travels when I was in Los Angeles, Hollywood, exact.
Yeah.
I met this girl.
A girl.
Okay.
A girl.
Now, we don't want to get too far. That's going to be part, I think, the next part of it. So,
Well,
okay.
is it the girl we're thinking of?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I thought. It is the girl.
The girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The reason that we're all here, actually.
Now, okay, now, so you went to what were you thinking, Jerry? On what were you trying to break in bigger time into the music industry?
Yeah. I'm trying to form a band and play music and become a star.
What did you look like during those days?
Oh, well,
Well,
maybe we'll see maybe
well,
we'll show
Brett,
a picture.
Yeah.
Well, we'll show. We're getting ready to we'll put the picture
We'll
up
put some
about now.
pictures together.
So what did you look like? What were you trying to do?
Oh, whatever at that time was popular.
Same hairstyle.
Being an older fellow, I'm sort of captured by what I thought was a height of my sexuality, and so I kind of stayed there.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, the same
that's
same
right.
hairstyle.
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Now, did you wear a cowboy hat?
No,
Did
I
you
wasn't a cowboy hat.
fringe
guy.
leather coat?
No,
No cowboy boots?
no, I might have had cowboy boots. I like cowboy boots.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're just bumming around Hollywood.
That's right. Minding my own business.
Yeah.
And so, where did you meet this person? And
At the famous Palomino Club.
the
I've been there.
okay.
I've been to the Palomino.
I have not. So you guys will have
Now
to.
the
fill me in
Palomino is
later.
actually San Fernando Valley.
That's right. Right.
Because we used to go there to the Palomino.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know the place. I've been there. I'm not
No,
telling you.
I don't want, I shouldn't
Yeah.
even be listening, my innocent ears.
Oh, it's a very famous place. Been there a number of times. Real place. So you're at the Palomino. Okay. You got 1 minute, Jerry. Now get us up to this. So you're at Palomino. What's happened?
You want me to speak about my Christian faith or regarding my meeting this certain young lady?
Well, I think, Jerry, we're going to have to put the whole thing off until the second program.
Okay.
We're gonna get into.
We just got started.
I know.
We
I
just
know.
got started. On which part is what we're going to find out, right?
Yeah.
Which part did we get started on? But I know that this young woman that you have
You know her.
met was not going to encourage your Christian walk at
That's-
that point in
At
her
that
life.
point.
That's right.
At that point.
So
Well-
we'll have to leave it up to others.
Well, we've gotten pretty far down the line, but we're gonna got to get to the whole rest of it coming up, Jerry.
Okay.
We're really glad to have you here.
Thank you
All
for
right,
having
this
me.
is just coming to the end of our first program, interviewing Jerry Lee Shelfer on why we are Christians. Part 2 is coming up. So long.